Alright, let's start our other piece here. And this is our coon. Let's go ahead and draw a center line down the center of the coon to sort of give us a problematic look at what we're doing. This is our tail back here, a very important part of a coon. And I'm going to start by just starting to remove a little wood. Now this coon is 1 inch thick, okay? It's 1 inch thick. So we will start to remove some wood from the coon. All right. Now, basically, it's just sort of getting some shape to our coon. Now that tail is going to have to come down also, but we're just going to kind of go around, start shaping our coon. Now the legs are going to come up like this, okay? And they're going to come up like this. So we're going to go ahead and cut the little thing in here. Same thing here, comes up like this. And comes through like this. Okay? Now, we're also going to have to come to the centerpiece of our legs, which is going to be a little bit difficult at times because this is going against the grain. So we want to be careful. We want to take our time. Here we go. All right. Now, let's go ahead and take the head. Let's go ahead and bring this forward a little bit. We're going to come forward with this. Now, we also have the ears, which is like this. Okay? But we also have to separate them. There we go. And we want to bring forward this part right here on both sides. You want to draw a line down the middle of it. And we begin to bring this nose forward. Okay? Now, we want to leave room for the nose in here. So we're going to come up underneath here and we're going to kind of do this. See, the coon's face actually comes forward just like that, in other words. And in which case we can also bring this down and bring this down. And of course we have our ears here, which we want to keep intact, but they can come forward like this. Okay. Okay. Now, of course, we come in here and we want to kind of, he's got a kind of a hunchback a little bit. And we want to take some off in here. We begin to sort of work the piece. I know I jump around a lot, but you see, the reason I'm jumping around a lot is because I'm trying to look at the piece. Now, right now, the coon is way too fat. You understand? Of course, the tail is way too big. Now, your tail is a very important pivot point in your coon. And you can also do this. You can also do a little bit where the tail, just like this, the tail sways just a little bit. And it usually does in a coon. It sways just a little bit. All right, see like that? What kind of sways? Now the tail is not real thin on a coon. It's thick. So we don't want to thin it up too much. But we want to thin it up where it will, see I see that, just that kind of sway right there and there. Where we can get to this area here now where we can kind of remove wood from the back of the coon. I want to go ahead and try to get these legs a little bit. Get them kind of separated. You want to be careful now. You don't want to rush. See how I'm just taking off a little bit at a time. Go. Take a little bit off at each time. Now you can also do this with a gouge, but I prefer the knife to show you how to do it. All right, we begin to kind of thin the coon out a little bit. Raccoon is a very mischievous animal, as most people know that has ever been around raccoons or been around coons. If you've ever done camping, a coon will scare you to death sometimes. If he gets in the garbage, they roam at night. And they're very smart animals. And they'll roam at night looking for food. I broke a little bit of that off. That's all right, though. It's going to be fine. That has to come down anyway. A a coon is he's a very mischievous animal, and the first time I ever really had encounters with a coon was I was camping, and it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I heard this racket, and I was in the tent, scared you to death. Thought, Lord have mercy, somebody's shooting at you or something. And what it was a coon, and he had gotten into a garbage can. And their little hands and stuff, they are just amazing animals. They are really they can get into something that you wouldn't think they would. Coons are real bad about deer hunters tell me a lot. They have deer feeders, and coons are real bad about and a deer feeder, the way it works, for those that don't know, a lot of you know, the way it works is it's got a timer on it, and as time goes, it actually opens up. The timer goes off and it opens up and lets corn fall on the ground. And I have actually talked to deer hunters who said that the coons actually, okay, it's looking good. The coons actually will figure out those timers sometimes, and they'll actually get up there and make that timer go off, so the corn will fall, and then they go eat it. And coons are like that. They are very smart animals, and when they're after food, I mean, when they're after it, buddy, they will do whatever is necessary to try to get to it. So they're kind of they're like hogs a little bit. They don't look like hogs, but I mean, hogs are like that and around deer feeders and stuff. They'll eat your corn all to pieces. So coons, and usually it's at night that coons they come in and try to get what they can off of you. So okay, now we're starting to look like a coon, okay? Starting to look good. You want to be sure that you thin him up a little bit. Now, like I said, he's kind of a wide animal, but you don't want him too wide. He's going to sit up in the tree as the dog looks up at him. And years and years ago, it's not as popular today as it was. Jerry Clower, the great comedian who's dead now, used to talk about coon hunting, and people would do coon hunting, and they would go off and they would hunt coons, and they would do it with dogs. And they'd tree a coon, and he'd be up in the tree, and them dogs would be going crazy. And that was a sport back then that was very popular with people who lived in the woods. Used to coon hunt all the time. And Jerry Clower made it a very humorous way of doing it. Up in the face here, we want to thin that face up just a little bit. We're getting the ears down good. You see how the ears are? We want to and coon hunting was a big thing because people would use their dogs. And I know a man that I worked with for years ago. Him and his son used to hog hunt like that. They would use dogs. They wouldn't shoot the animals. They would actually capture the animals. And that was the way the coons were. They would try to knock them out of the tree and let the dogs kind of take care of the business. Okay, now what we want to do is we come up here and we want to make the little nose up here on the coon. So we want to be kind of careful. This is a delicate place. Just like doing a dog, we want to put the little nose on him. But we want to be careful because this is a delicate place. Easy to break wood. Anytime you get to a place where, see the little nose here? And so coon hunting was a big thing at one time. Now it's not done as much anymore. People don't, I guess they still do it some places, but where dogs run coons. And years ago, having a good coon dog was a big thing. Very. And a lot of hound dogs and stuff that they use. They would track coons like they used to track prisoners that would escape with dogs. Alright, when we get down here among the legs here, you want to be real careful. You want to be extremely careful because these are areas that are very thin. And if God has given you the love and the talent to carve, it's just such a wonderful thing. Okay, everything is starting to look pretty good. I'm going to take these feet now. We want to be careful because this is very light in here, and we want to shape those feet a little bit. They're shaped pretty good right now, but we want to shape them some more. And just like that. But when you get into this area, you want to be careful because you're going against the grain a lot. So you want your knife to be sharp and you want it to work real well. I'm going to get my V-tool and get in between there. Just a second, I didn't bring it with me. To that point, you want to take your V-tool. Probably needs to go ahead and end this now because I get ahead of myself. I get to carving and forget about my time. So we're going to end this right now and come back. Okay.